By the time Susan closed the door to her room, that photo had already been posted on an Elite's group chat, accompanied by mocking comments. In the Elite group chat, Ruth Martin's sharp words ignited a storm. Ruth, budget hotel? Seriously? Guess the Drew family really washed their hands of her. Her words came sharp and biting, like shards of glass thrown into the mix. A flurry of responses followed, each more mocking than the last. Julia, didn't Susan work as a manager at Drew Corp? What's this about? Ruth, clearly she didn't last long there. Imagine going from a 5-star life to this. The chat spiraled into cruelty, their words as polished as the champagne flutes they sipped from, but just as cutting. Every comment carried the weight of disdain, their laughter silent but piercing. And then, a new name appeared. A rare interruption in their world of petty mockery. Michael. Maybe her family cut her off, leaving her without resources. If she's at a budget hotel now, maybe consider who's to blame before laughing. The chat froze. Michael never engaged in their games, let alone defended anyone. His words weren't loud or drawn out, but they cut through the thread like a knife, silencing Ruth and her entourage. For a moment, there was only stunned silence, the kind that carried the weight of unspoken judgments. Peter. Michael, defending someone? Never thought I'd see the day. Julia, wait, are you serious? Susan's family just left her like that? But Michael didn't respond again. His single comment stood firm, like an unyielding shield in a room of spinning blades. The thread died, their mockery snuffed out by the weight of his words. Back at Opal Harbor, the villa was unnervingly quiet, the kind of silence that pressed against Ethan's ears as he stepped out of his room. His bare feet brushed against the cool floor, and he rubbed his temples absently, the lingering weight of unfinished thoughts refusing to let him sleep. The faint hum of the refrigerator reached him as he moved toward the kitchen, his steps slow and measured. The darkness pooled in the corners of the room, broken only by the soft glow of the moonlight filtering through the large windows. As he turned the corner, his gaze flicked instinctively toward the guest room. The door was ajar, its shadow cutting a narrow stripe across the polished floor. Ethan paused, his brows knitting together. Strange, he murmured, the word barely audible, as though speaking it aloud would disturb the fragile stillness. He brushed the thought aside and continued to the refrigerator. The cold light spilled over him as he pulled the door open, grabbing a chilled bottle of water. He unscrewed the cap and took a long drink, letting the coolness chase away the dryness in his throat. But the unease lingered. Setting the bottle on the counter, he exhaled slowly, his gaze drifting back toward the guest room. Something about the open door gnawed at him, a faint sense of wrongness that refused to dissipate. His frown deepened. With deliberate steps, he approached the room. The faint creak of the floor beneath his weight felt loud in the quiet night. Pushing the door open, Ethan's sharp eyes swept the space. The bed was perfectly made, the nightstand undisturbed. At first glance, it seemed untouched, but not in the way that spoke of neatness. No, this was emptiness. His gaze flicked to the corner where Susan's suitcase had sat just hours ago. It was gone. The faint scent of her presence, something soft, floral, and fleeting, was fading too, leaving behind only sterile stillness. So she finally left, Ethan muttered. His voice was low, almost devoid of emotion. He lingered for a moment, his hand resting lightly on the doorframe, his jaw tightening as his thoughts churned. The words echoed hollowly in his mind, offering no relief. He took a step back, letting the door swing shut with a soft click. Maybe it's for the best, he said, quieter this time, as though trying to convince himself. But the conviction didn't reach his eyes. He turned away from the empty room and walked back to the kitchen. The bottle of water sat waiting for him on the counter. He grabbed it, taking another drink before heading to his bedroom, his steps steady yet heavy. The stillness of the villa seemed heavier now, wrapping around him like a second skin. Behind him, the guest room stood dark and silent, a reminder of an absence that felt more unsettling than he cared to admit. At a small, dimly lit budget hotel, Susan stirred from an uncomfortable slumber on the couch. The stiffness in her neck reminded her why she hadn't slept in the bed. Upon checking in the night before, she had discovered hair on the sheets and an unwashed smell clinging to the room. The sight and smell had been too much for her to bear. She rubbed her eyes groggily. Sitting up, she reached for her phone, intending to check the time. Just then, the device buzzed in her hand, Helen's name flashing on the screen. Susan swiped to answer. Hello? Babe. Helen's voice was sharp, tinged with concern. Why are you in a budget hotel? Weren't you living with your husband? Susan blinked in confusion. How do you know that? Come on, everyone's talking about it in the group chat, Helen said, her voice filled with frustration. That witch Ruth Martin couldn't wait to share, she added bitterly. She even dragged up your past, Helen continued, her tone growing sharper, saying you got kicked out of the Drew household because Sophia is back. Now all those hypocrites who envy you for being the perfect Drew daughter are having a field day mocking you. Susan exhaled slowly, her chest tightening. Ruth Martin, of course it would be her. A daughter from another affluent California family, Ruth had always harbored jealousy towards Susan. Her stunning looks and stellar academic achievements had made her a target for Ruth's passive-aggressive wrath over the years. Oh, Susan muttered, her voice subdued. That's all you're going to say? Aren't you furious? Helen demanded. You've never even set foot in anything less than a 5-star hotel before. What's going on? Susan hesitated for a moment before confessing. Things have changed. My dad cut off all my cards and I don't have much money on me. Ethan, he told me to leave. Why didn't you call me? Helen's voice softened, tinged with worry. It was late, Susan explained. I didn't want to wake you up. You're such an idiot sometimes. Tell me where you are. 40 minutes later, Helen arrived at the hotel, her hurried footsteps echoing through the narrow hallway. She pushed the door open and immediately took in the sight of the cramped, dodgy room. A faint grimace crossed her face as she noticed a stash of escort service cards slipped under the door. She turned to Susan, shaking her head. You shouldn't be here. This isn't right for you. Come on, leave this place and stay at mine. Susan smiled faintly, shaking her head. No, Helen. You have a boyfriend, and it wouldn't feel right imposing on you long term. I'll figure something out. I'm planning to rent a place. Helen frowned, clearly unconvinced. You're too stubborn for your own good, you know that? She sighed, placing a reassuring hand on Susan's shoulder. If you need anything, promise you'll call me, okay? Susan nodded, her heart swelling with gratitude. I promise. Helen sighed after a moment, nodding. You know, that's probably a good idea. Jacob came to my place last night looking for you again. He's so annoying.
Susan stiffened at the mention of Jacob's name. Memories of his unwavering support once comforted her, but now his recent betrayal stung deeply. He's the last person I want to see right now. Same, Helen agreed, rolling her eyes. Then she frowned. Her curiosity piqued. But you're married now. Why did Ethan kick you out in the middle of the night? Susan forced a bitter smile, her gaze dropping. It's complicated. He doesn't want us to be involved, just a temporary arrangement. Helen's brow furrowed. What happened? Susan hesitated before offering a brief explanation, skimming over the humiliation, but leaving enough for Helen to grasp the situation. He made it clear he doesn't want me there, so I left. Helen's eyes softened, her frustration evident. That man sounds insufferable. Are you okay?
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.